Alright, we're back to do another sparring breakdown video. This time I'm going to be sparring with one of my students, Chris. Chris has been training for about 18 months. I've been training a long time, since 2005. I'm going to put it on Chris a little bit more today than I normally do. I'm trying to get him to move a little bit more. See me kind of come out with a 2-on-1 to force the front headlock. Put Chris down with a cradle. Start moving north-south. Chris doing a good job getting on his side. You can see I'm lifting that bottom leg there to kind of flatten him out so I can keep him on his side. Chris doing a good job looking on that overhook. Trying to give him more space so I can start setting up some front headlock stuff. Really looking on the pinch front headlock here, see when I could get going. Chris doing a good job fighting my hands here, making things hard for me. I managed to get a good grip and slip for a Peruvian necktie. You can see, like, I remember not getting this Peruvian necktie, but it's pretty close. Most of it I was struggling with had to do with my grip. You can actually kind of see right here. My grip is not quite in the right place. I would actually like my hands locked together, like underneath his throat. So my left arm, which we can't see in the video, is a little too shallow to make the choke work. Other thing too is because my grip wasn't lined up right, you can see my elbow kind of pushed my knee open as I fell back. And I lost that leg behind his head. So as we kind of continue the tape here, you'll see that I lose the position, but I still managed to come on top. So start working from 3/4 mount. This is one of my favorite positions. I usually can control really well from here. Just isolating Chris's arm, trying to see if I can get some movement going. He's reaching for that wrist, so I know he's starting to expose his back. I want that wrist tie on the far side, but he's doing a good job just being complacent in half. So this is where I kind of start seeing a little mistake in Chris. You'll see it with my hand, but Chris grounded his elbow to the mat here. Okay, anytime someone grounds their elbow to the mat when I'm in 3/4 mount, I always look to wrist lock. So we'll kind of see what transpires here. So again, just kind of hunting, looking on that wrist. And I pick up the easy wrist lock. So a common mistake you'll see from people in 3/4 is they make that mistake. Let's go back just a little bit. They'll make that mistake of posting their elbow, right? They want to push the knee back inside. Like Chris's method of escape here is sound. Like what he wants to do is he wants to push my knee back between his legs, right? So he can start recovering a half guard, and you can use his elbow to help push that inside, to start pushing here. But the problem is if he puts his elbow down like he has here, that's what's exposing the wrist lock. So this is a common counter to like a very fundamental escape. And you can see when he starts making that connection, it gives me the opportunity to attack his wrist. So we go back to it again. Nice hand fighting here. I'm really looking just to kind of redirect Chris's head. Trying to give him a little bit more space to work. I have a nice overhook here. Chris not changing levels enough. Like you see it like a good attempt here initially for him kind of like reaching in on the legs and stuff. But because he's not changing levels to get closer to my hip, that's why I can just sprawl my hips back a little bit. He's having a hard time getting close enough to me to get his takedowns going. And I start circling behind. We end up in kind of a strange situation here. Chris put me forward. I had to kick through in order to free my leg from being trapped inside there. And I just start circling behind. Again, just making an active job to stay on top and kind of force Chris into the turtle position. Chris just kind of tipped over here, so it made it easy for me to move into side control. And I'm just trying to do what I can to kind of keep him pinned at this moment since we just had a big scramble. Again, here I'm just kind of pinning. And Chris, again, working his way away. I'm trying to isolate the shoulder here so I can go for a reverse triangle. But he does a good job of going flat. So he's doing a good job kind of like staying faced away. He's defending well in side control. But again, kind of being funneled to force himself back into that turtle position. Pause real quick for white belts. I tip Chris over, start taking the back here. Switch back to knee on belly. I'm kind of trying to get Chris to open up a little bit more. So I start just kind of playing around. Again, just trying to get Chris to react to the turtle position so I can get some offense going. So it was a nice reverse triangle attempt. I managed to climb the leg over the shoulder, but Chris doing a good job here. He was quick on his defense. He managed to catch my ankle. So, like, this is probably one of the hardest things to come up when you're hunting reverse triangle. It's really hard to finish the reverse triangle if the person has control of your ankle. Not easy to pummel out of. So let's see what kind of transpires here. I still have good grip. I still have the triangle locked. Yeah, I just ditch the leg and start coming back on top, and I find myself again in 3/4. So we're seeing some like positions repeat themselves in this roll. Chris makes the adjustment not to leave his wrist exposed, but still keeps climbing up on this elbow, which is exposing his back. It's a hard position to be in, especially when the person's heavier than you. Kind of start forcing a deep half situation. Switch back to my knee cut. And again, Chris going to turtle a little early. This is what keeps kind of allowing me to circle to the back. So, like, let's look kind of what he could have done different here, too. So, like, I'm playing in that 3/4, switch back to the deep half. I want the Kimura, but he turns in. And I slide through. So, like, Chris is doing a good job of getting on his side here. But the one thing he's doing is when he's going to turtle, he's not looking on the single leg. You can kind of see, like, both his arms are still out in front. What he wanted to be doing was grabbing this leg in the back here. We can't see in the video, but you get the idea. Because his arms are in front here, it's just opening up space for me to circle and take the back. Okay, so as we continue, you see it's just really easy for me to turn the corner here and circle to the back. Again, I'm just trying to stay active here, attacking him from turtle position. Chris doing a good job looking to control the wrist, but he needs to keep moving. It's hard too. I try to switch to the guillotine. It's not panning out for me, so I circle around. Manage to get that left hand underneath deep enough so I can start looking on my pinch front headlock. Managed to get my fingers locked. Now I just need to cinch it up. I'm going to try to pull my left elbow behind Chris's head. And this will create a tight cinch. And you can see here with the grip that I'm using, this pressure on the back of the head is super tight. Okay, so it's going to be making it really easy for me to flip Chris over and put him on his back. Can't quite get my elbow in deep enough, so I circle a bit more. That slides everything into place a little bit better. And now I can flip him and start looking on my darce. So you kind of see like there was like a brief moment where I was struggling to get it. Let's go back even a little bit further. So about here, you see me try to flip him, but I don't have the leverage. So, and you can see it was all had to do with that elbow. I needed to make sure that elbow tucked in as deep as I could behind the back of his neck. Once that lined up better, now I'm able to use it the way I need to flip him over. And there's the flip. And now I can switch to the darce and finish the choke. So Chris doing a good job. I'm putting it on him a bit harder today. Give him a chance to pass, but he doesn't want it. I'm looking for a little foot trip here. It's not panning out. Chris shoots for a single, but lands short. Again, kind of ends up in that same situation. He's got to stay a little bit more active, willing to go back up to his feet. Again, checking the hip here as I circle. Really looking to control Chris' elbows, so it's hard for him to turtle. Starting to look on that near side underhook so I can pick up my Kimura. Yeah, just adjusting. I switch from the Kimura back to the arm lock. Now I have good positioning. I just need to sit back to finish. Push off his hip and get the arm bar. So yeah, that was a good little hand fight from Chris there. So he feels my Kimura coming right away, right? He's been Kimura'd by me enough now to know it's coming. So he starts grabbing the inside of his thigh here, which is a good defense. So that thigh defense is strong. but I just it's going to give me more time to kind of isolate my grip and get my positioning better. So I step over and switch to a conventional Kimura. And Chris is looking to kind of lock his hands together, but I trapped his bottom arm, so he's not really going to get an opportunity to get the lock the way he needs it. So we kind of continue here. You watch, I'll switch my knees again. And in that switch, it helped me really block that arm. So now on this side, I kind of cleared the path that I needed to keep his head down and controlled so I can start finishing my arm lock. So I just stay heavy, keeping that arm pinned. He's doing a good job kind of blocking that space from my other leg coming over, but as I sit to my butt, you can see I start pushing on his hip. So anytime my opponent keeps his knee in here, I like to push on their hip in the opposite way. And it's a real weak point in their thigh. You can push that thigh down always, and I'll turn the hips away. And that's what's going to help me get my positioning the way I need to so I can finish the armbar. Anyways, I hope you guys liked this the sparring match of me and Chris. Chris did a good job. You know, he's working hard. If you guys like these videos, you have comments about any of the techniques you see, you want to see more videos like this, make sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you for watching.